and you're in the room.
Let's make out.
Wait, what? No! I have a knife. It's a shiny knife.
Okay, so welcome back to the Mad Play podcast, Serious Sam edition. I hope you're having a good day, because I think we are having a good day for a change, aren't we?
Yeah, I believe so. We're having a good day for a change,
Yes.
honestly.
So before we do anything else, before we say or do anything else, and before we cut anything by accident,
Yes.
I think it's important that we establish the time frame of this recording right off the bat, so that when it will come out in a month from now, it will be appropriately aged, like a fine wine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A couple of hours before hitting the recording button to this episode, we received news that the pig who shot George Floyd last year was sentenced.
Guilty
condemned,
of 3 charges of murder.
Absolutely destroyed.
Thank
Good.
fuckery.
Yes. It's not by any means a victory in the grand scheme of things. Apparently, this is the first time a murdering cop has been actually convicted, properly convicted, for killing a black man in 400 years of American history.
Yeah, that's pretty much...
So, let that sink in.
Yes. I mean, speaking from as a historian side of things, it's very nice to see something not repeat itself again, because this kind of reminded me a lot of 1992's Rodney King.
Rodney King, yes.
I'm not sure how many people
It was the great
that.
inciter of the Battle of Los Angeles. An interesting anecdote about the 90s.
Yeah.
There were a lot of police unfriendly media in the 90s as a result of the Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That eventually phased away as we hit the new millennium. So let that be a bit of a thinker for you.
Yeah. As I said on Twitter about it, this is definitely something we need to stay vigilant on. And I think that's all we need to say, really, honestly, because, you know, it's funny, you were thinking the similar process to me, that basically we should address the pig in the prison cell, so to speak.
Yes, the pig in the room. In this case, the prison cell is the room.
Or rather, the parasite, as I would call them.
The parasite pig.
Yes, parasitic. So, yeah.
Parasite Pig, the new unexpected spin-off of Parasite Eve.
Oh boy.
Alright, so can we walk and talk?
Yes.
We are playing a game, technically.
Yes, we are playing a game, and we're going to be leaving this haven of a room that I like to call home for the last couple of weeks. We'd had cannonballs, plasma, rockets, health.
Couple of weeks, he says. Couple of weeks, he says.
Yes, couple of weeks. Yeah, totally. Was it just a couple of weeks, as in a couple of fours?
Devar!
Yes,
This keeps happening! This cannot keep happening!
Come on now, everything's fine.
This cannot be the status quo!
Well, the status quo is basically, you know, one of those things.
No, I don't know. Explain.
You know, it's basically the old adage of crud happens, you can't control it, and boom, suddenly a month's passed and you haven't sent the video to your friend who wants the video badly.
Ooh. And we had such important topics of discussion too last time. You know, it's embarrassing that we talked at length about the royal family, but it was recorded before the death of Prince Philip, so we cannot make fun of him.
Well, I wasn't making fun of him.
I'm not above that.
Like I said last time, I don't really care about the royals. I don't care what they're doing.
I don't care. Well, I do care if they live or die, because you know.
Well, yeah, I do.
You know. He knows everybody.
I know. I understand. Anyway, on to other important topics.
Yes, what do you have for us this week, aside from my patience, which you stole from me?
Basically, a small discussion about... Oh, bugger.
Oh, a small discussion about boogers. That I was not expecting that direction.
No.
I am interested. Let's talk about the contents of your nose, then.
Okay, I need to reload that. That was an awful way to start. So... Okay. So basically, the first discussion, I should say, concerns something that happened during this last month, involving good old Sony deciding.
Yes.
Yeah, they decided, hey, you know what would be a great idea? We shut down the PS3 and PS Vita stores just because, you know, we need to concentrate on the modern systems.
Yes, let's have over 2,000 games completely disappear. And then they say they don't want to encourage piracy.
Exactly, right?
They have the gall of saying that.
That's pretty much what I was thinking, you know, during that time period when I heard that, basically. You know, there's a lot of games on the PS3 store that were digital only and never had physical releases.
Right, but before we continue, are you aware that they have absolutely backpedaled on that decision today?
Yes, I am aware of that. But believe me, I kept up to date on this because, believe it or not, video game preservation is one of the core values I stand by.
Yes,
because,
I'm all about preservation of the arts in general, and video games are definitely art, so I am up there with you. We are standing on the precipice towards a good analogy that I don't have.
Yeah, which is why I really despise online-only games as well.
It's not really the fault of the developers that they can only make games to be purchased and be available online, because physical copies are quite expensive and a lot of these games are independently made. It just so happened that everything about that department, the distribution, digital or otherwise, is in the hands of whomever owns the platform by which these games are being distributed. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism.
There is not, especially when a corporation especially a publishing corporation, decides, hey, we want to control our content that you have bought specifically to enjoy. I mean, you don't get this crud with movies or with comic books.
There was a time in which you did. And if you think about it, video games are still relatively recent compared to film. So I think we are in the thick of things when it comes to the debate about preservation right here, right now, in this particular moment of history. And Sony backpedaling on that decision because it was pressured to do so by indubitably a ton of backlash is, again, a positive step towards a future in which we can hold accountable some people in power, or at least pressure them enough to do the right thing, even though they really don't want or care to do it.
This is not basically a new thing that's been going on. It's been happening for many years now.
Oh, yes.
We're talking like EA basically releasing games that are online only.
Oh, boy.
And basically, after a few months of them being released, dead, you cannot play the game anymore. There is no way to play it again because they decided, you know, we do not care to preserve history or to basically, you know, give the files necessary to play the games anymore. You know, so bye-bye game.
Yes.
So pretty much it's like, I would highly recommend checking out, let's see.
Jim Sterling?
Not Jim Sterling.
Well, I recommend checking out all the videos made by Jim Stephanie Sterling, by the way. They are absolutely on point about this entire situation all the time.
Yeah. Well, there was another person who covered this subject matter a long time ago. About a few years ago, actually. He goes by the name of Ross, and he's from Accursed Farms.
Oh, Ross! The guy who decided to give a mental monologue to
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman. Yes, I remember him. I know him. I've seen some of his work.
Yeah, big fan of his work. He basically did a whole video essay about live service games are fraud.
Yes, and so did Sterling, by the way. They were very ahead of their time, really.
Why is it I'm not able to continue this?
Maybe you have not killed all the CEOs, I mean monsters.
Well, that means there's one stuck somewhere. Or did something open up without me realizing? Oh! This is here. Okay, so something did appear, so...
Okay, it's time for second round, baby.
Oh god, I hate this already. Let's see how this goes. Hello. Oh goody, there's a lot of them. A lot of the chaff. So, yeah, anyway. So, I would actually highly recommend checking out both of those people's content because they do some pretty good, decent work and research into the subject matter that they are covering. Ross especially, who essentially does cover a lot of games that have been killed and talks about them, and even covers games that are in the process of getting killed in the form of dead game news, though he has put that on hold while he does other projects and other life story issues.
In the context of this whole situation with the PS3 and PS Vita market store being shut down there for a hot minute, but not really now anymore,
yeah,
I have my own little story to tell.
Yeah.
Because you see, believe it or not, I am currently in possession of a PSP. Not a PS Vita, an original PSP. Yes. Now, flashbacking to a few years before that, when I had my own PS3, before it broke down for a second time because the PS3 was garbage in many ways.
Yep.
Let's not mince words. My gosh, it was bad. Horrible.
As a hardware, yeah.
Horrible hardware, terrible machine, occupies a lot of space, broke down 2 times, did not play games from PlayStation 2.
Yep.
That too, that's a whole kettle of fish. Anyway, on that machine, I purchased a digital-only copy of Klonoa Door to Phantomile, which, as you know, it's one of, if not my favorite game of all time. I have learned about Klonoa by playing the Wii remake first, which I still have. I still have my physical copy of the Wii remake, and I have a Wii console for the specific purpose of playing that game whenever I want, because that's what I call dedication.
Yep.
And I also wanted to play the original Door to Phantomile from 1997, so I bought it. I don't have a PlayStation 3 anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do have a PlayStation Portable, and luckily for me, Klonoa Door to Phantomile, I'll never get tired of saying the complete title, by the way, can be played on a PlayStation Portable. I have a whole selection of games I bought on the PlayStation 3 that can be compatible with the PSP. As I was afraid that all of these games were going to go away, even though I bought them already, I decided at least I'm going to save Klonoa, because that's really the most that the limited storage memory of the PSP can contain. So I downloaded it, and it is now safely stored in that console. It is with a huge sigh of relief that I learned that these games are, after all, not going away for now.
Yeah.
They might still be the sneaky sods that they are and try this stunt later down the line when the PlayStation 5 is more established and more games have come out and there is retro compatibility with the PlayStation 4 to drown out the conversation, so that they then will feel safe to pull the plug again without people noticing.
Well, we just have to hope that basically, you know...
Because Nintendo definitely did get away with doing the same identical thing with the Nintendo Wii store.
They definitely did, and it was a lot of talk there as well about it at the time.
So it is honestly a miracle, or rather it is very unusual that a corporation, a gaming company as big as Sony, which is not actually a gaming company, the gaming aspect is but a simple facet of the company. It is unusual that they would backpedal on such a decision. But they did. And that sets a precedent. A precedent in which it is possible to pressure corporations into doing the right thing. Again, not because they want to do it, but because they are afraid of the backlash that it might impact the sales. Let us not forget that this particular moment in time is very delicate for Sony's gaming division, because again, the PlayStation 5, as I said before, has only just started its lifespan, so they feel the need, they are pressured to feel the need to make peace with their player base. And I think this is a massive contributing factor to that decision to not destroy the memory of 2,000 games forever until pirates would step in to save them, that is. So yes, this is a massive contributing factor to that decision. Otherwise, they would have simply carried on. If this decision had happened a few years prior, or a few years down the line from now, they would have not stopped. They would have had no reason to care or to stop. As it stands, this was not the right time to pull the plug on that store. Because fans' backlash only carries weight for so much. In the eyes, the cold, distant eyes of a mega corporation. So keep being vigilant, keep being wary about them. Because they will try this again. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. It's luckily we have people like Jim Sterling, Young Yeah, Legacy Killer HD, and other platforms on YouTube who are keeping gamers in the know of what's going on of this sort of thing.
For those willing to listen, for those who do not identify themselves as corporate drones.
Yeah. Or fanboys, as we like to call them.
Same thing.
Yes.
Bootlickers.
Yep. Apologists.
Ugh.
The worst kind of people, honestly.
What a dirty, dirty word, apologist.
But it's true, though.
I know, but I prefer to say bootlicker, honestly. It sounds more honest, and it's not as gross to say out loud as apologist.
To me, apologist is basically the worst thing to be called anyway, so it's like...
Yes, absolutely.
Because essentially it means that you basically are willing to give people leeway to take advantage of you.
Would you be a Nazi apologist? I didn't think so. Oh, you have one more round to go.
Yep, I know this much. Thankfully, they gave me a fair few things. Oh, hello!
Hello there.
Okay.
I like the way they are posing before they attack you. I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They understand.
Keep singing that song I hate so much.
I walk alone amidst this field of danger. Do, 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 do.
I didn't mean it seriously.
That's another song.
Yes, I know, but still.
What's another wrestler's entrance theme music that you detest?
Oh god, it's been so long. I forgot most of the wrestlers' theme songs I liked or hated.
I know one that you like.
Which one would that be?
Christian! Christian!
That was funny, honestly.
Christian! You're on your own! Dun, dun, dun!
I just thought that was so funny when his first singles theme song came out. It was over the top, absolutely silly.
I love it too.
It was like
it's the character.
It's so cartoonishly evil, low tier villain that thinks he's awesome.
It didn't last that long,
No,
but
it
it was a good run.
Honestly, my favorite theme from Christian was actually when he got "Close Your Eyes." I just know I really liked the woman who sang the song, not the story of the year version, which sounds more whiny.
I think Christian's best theme is the one he uses outside of WWE, which is the one he's currently using still, right now, as he's under AEW. It's basically the prototype for Close Your Eyes, but without the whiny part. Da, 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 da.
I know. In TNA, he basically had a rip-off of Evanescence's song.
I don't know if it's the same, but
It
he
probably-
definitely had this music in TNA, and he has this music right now, and I like it.
Yeah, that's a rip-off of one of Evanescence's songs. I actually, you can actually, I forgot the title of the song, but I remember when I heard it in that particular song, I went, wait, is this Christian's Fever? And then I compared the two, it was like, oh my gosh.
You'd be surprised to know how many of the wrestlers' theme songs or pieces of music are inspired or covers. Are either inspired or are actively covering existing songs.
Yeah, like
Sting's song in WCW.
And then there was Nirvana that was used by Diamond Dallas Page back in WCW.
Yes, I'm pretty sure the NWO theme music is calling back to something else. The Sandman straight up used Enter the Sandman.
Oh yeah,
by Metallica.
Yep, he totally used that.
Yes, which was great. And then we've gotten the WWE bootleg version.
Because, copyrights.
Yes, that.
Anyway. Enough about wrestling. I think we said all we need to say about the matter with the PS3 and Vita stores front.
For now, yes.
For now, just keep an eye on it, folks. It's, we really need to, make companies accountable for it. I will say, though, I think Sony only did this because they had already so much backlash for doing tons of things already. They're deciding to close down the Japanese Sony base, which a lot of people hold in high regard as being creative. And gamers were not happy about hearing about this news. There's the censorship policy, which is picky and choosy.
That too.
And I'm pretty sure there's some others, but they were the big ones that fans basically...
Yes, there is also the PS5.
Oh yeah, the scalpers.
Not sold as much as it did, and also, yes, the scalpers. I forgot to mention the scalpers. Like I said, this was not the right time to pull that move for Sony. That was just the icing on the cake, really. They could have gotten away with this, and that's
if it weren't for those pesky gamers and then meddling dogs too.
The most dangerous, the most sobering statement of the hour is that Sony could have easily gotten away with doing exactly this if the moment was different.
Yeah. So anyway, on to other things. What have you been up to lately, or have you got anything on your plate to bring up?
Well, do you remember Oddworld?
I definitely do. My sweetheart is actually very fond of that series of games.
Okay, so there was a new Oddworld game that was just released recently.
Yep.
Oddworld Soulstorm, which is a sequel to Oddworld New and Tasty, which, if you recall, was the remake, the ground-up remake of the original Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey.
Yep, I definitely remember that one.
So Soulstorm is not exactly a remake of Abe's Exodus, which was the original sequel to Abe's Odyssey. It's a reimagining of Abe's Exodus.
We're here, by the way.
Okay,
the Great Pyramid.
Actually, I think this is it for tonight's topics of discussion.
Oh, okay.
Because I am going to cover Oddworld more at length, in general, with Matimali, aka Hedonistic Actor, in our own series, in our own show.
Yep.
Most likely, this episode of Oddworld that we're going to be doing will come out way before this podcast. So that's going to age again like fine wine. This is a curse. This is my curse. So yes, that's it for tonight's topics, because now we have to focus on the Great Pyramid. And the Great Pyramid is it is something else. It is something else, my friend.
I can only imagine.
You think everything you've encountered before was hard? Oh, get into the pyramid, Devar. Get into the pyramid, Devar. Get in the pyramid.
Get in the robot pyramid, Shinji. Okay, so
this is it.
Oh, yep.
This is the penultimate level, and by far the hardest.
It's all quiet right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. Just so you know. I'm gonna check around these corners just in case.
So this is different, right? We actually have to focus on the game for a change.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They give me a serious pack and armor. That says a lot
You
about
will
something
need it.
that's going to be happening.
You will need it.
Let's take a look, see.
You can see the entrance points. And there you go! It's time!
It's not Vader time, that's for sure.
Oh, this music. This music is etched into my soul. Dun 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 dun.
Wait. Oh, thank goodness! I thought the game crashed for a second. I was worried about that happening.
So yes, this part. One really fun aspect about the music in this level is that it keeps on looping and repeating itself. Yeah. Except with each new loop, the music goes a bit faster. It builds to a crescendo, ideally going parallel to your heartbeats as you try to survive the onslaught.
I'm just trying my best to survive this.
This is the easy wave,
yep,
by the way.
Yep, I kind of guessed this would be the easy wave, considering it's just a bunch of clears.
Oh, it's mostly clears in this level. At their most obnoxious, might I add.
Okay. And to think I was going to talk about a video game.
You can still talk about it if you want.
Yeah, I think I might do while we're here, because it seems like we are not talking about much else. But,
Alright, so new topic of discussion. Disregard what I said earlier.
Yeah, about you anyway. So yeah, anyway, I basically... for the past year and a half sort of thing, me and Demonox used to, before the pandemic, I should say, we used to see each other like once a week. We would come over to each other's houses and play games together, but for obvious reasons, we have to, now play online. So for the past year and a half, we've been playing different games of, either multiplayer or single player experiences, that we would, help each other out on, by online streaming means. And one game we have been experiencing as of late is a game called Time Spinner.
Oh, I've heard about that one.
Think Castlevania Symphony of Night if it had the graphical look of a Super Nintendo game, and sounds like one as well, and basically has a story and lore that basically seems very ambitious for 2018.
Don't mind me, I'm just jamming to the music.
Oh, I don't mind at all. Don't worry about that.
But I'm listening to you, so please continue.
Yeah, I'm just basically thinking of how to take this conversation...
Survive.
Take this conversation while surviving, I should say.
You should save often, by the way. This will be long.
Which is what I'm doing right now.
Good.
So one of the things about Time Spinner that's the first thing that strikes you. It's beautiful pixel graphics, essentially, that kind of reminds you of that era of, of console gaming, of the Super Nintendo. And I love me some of that.
I slightly less love them because I do not have the nostalgia for it. But yes.
I only have nostalgia for it because I have an appreciation for 2D art styles.
Yes. I do not like the 16-bit Final Fantasy aesthetic, if I'm being honest.
Oh no, the Final Fantasy aesthetic is not really the...
I find it a little bit boring, if only because it's been played out often, especially when it comes to RPG Maker games. Continue.
Yeah. So anyway, another thing.
This is harrowing.
Another thing I've take note of is the music is absolutely gorgeous. It has a lot of different themes that will get stuck in your head. Some of it sounds Castlevania-ish.
Yes, stuck in your head like a queer horn. I mean clear! I meant to say clear, damn it! Oh gosh! This is harrowing. This is harrowing to watch, and I can assure you, I know, it is harrowing to play. I remember it all too well.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. So anyway...
The music doesn't help.
Yeah. Anyway, so Time Spinner.
Time Spinner.
I was going to basically say that the story basically actually stars, I should say, you play as a woman by the name of Lunai. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce her name. But she is from a time clan who are basically training her to be the next time messenger, which they're hoping to never use. Guess what happens?
They have to use her.
Yep, and she's like only turned like adult of age, essentially. It's her birthday, and suddenly the Empire attacks.
Everything changes when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yep, but that's practically is the plot, essentially. You're playing as this time traveler who basically ends up having to go between the past and present versions of this planet just because she has a revenge boner for the Emperor of the Lachiemi Empire.
I'm getting Tales of Berseria energy from these accounts.
I cannot say much else about the story because some of the plot twists you can see coming, but others you cannot, because essentially it goes into a lot of political stuff involving classism, elitism, basically, corrupt governments.
May I recommend a Metroidvania for you?
Yes.
Iconoclasts.
I think I've heard that one, yes.
Most likely by me, because I've written and tweeted about it extensively. It's one of the most interesting, well-written, well-rounded games of its ilk. It is decisively about that, about those themes you just described. It is about the fundamental corruption and failure of Western civilization, with its own use of iconography and its exploitation of the lower classes, all of which is leading us towards the precipice, towards our doom. It is quite good, and the story doesn't at all play out the way you would expect it to be. There is an ending that I could only describe as Chrono Trigger inspired, but in reverse. And I cannot expand on that statement without spoilers.
It's pretty much similar to me with Time Spinner, essentially. I cannot, go into spoiler territory because I feel the story is well told in the medium it's chosen to tell its story. There's one character who is basically openly, well, I wouldn't say openly, basically dealing with their own gender identity. She's basically lived in a society that has basically told her that you cannot be anything...
Who you are.
Yes. Another thing it covers, right, the topic as we're on to this, right, is that basically, I would like to touch on this. It also has gay and lesbian relationships being shown in a positive light. Take that for what you will, without too much spoilers going into it.
Okay, so a good, well-designed Metroidvania with interesting topical themes, featuring a large cast of queer characters.
Queer and straight characters.
Nobody cares about straights. Let's talk about queer people. They are the start. This seems like it's a game, good investment.
It is.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
yes.
it's basically a good story, I would say, so far from what I've seen. It depends on what the ending's going to be like. If I was to say something negative about the game so far, it's that I'm not really fond of the way it tackles its villains in the arc of the story, because essentially you got this emperor, he's the big evil that you have to fight, sort of thing, but you also go through all the other people in both the past and present of the story, and they're all villains that get mentioned at least once, but you never meet them until you actually fight them. And that, I feel, kinda takes away some investment you might have in certain characters.
The video game-y aspect of this video game is conflicting with the story it wants to tell.
Yeah. So essentially it's like I said, you cannot really get, to know a villain properly other than the main one. So it's like you only get to know the smaller time villains for like barely a minute before you have to kick the crap out of them.
Well, at least it's better than what Metal Gear Solid 4 did, in which the game tries to make you feel sympathetic towards the bosses after you kill them.
Oh, at least Time Spin at least makes you feel sympathetic to...
Complete nonsense.
Like I said, I was going to say, at least Time Spin at least gives one of the villains at least, some sympathetic motivation, because that's because you actually learn about her motivation as you're exploring the past version of the planet you're exploring.
There is a recurring antagonist in Iconoclasts, whom is not even the main antagonist, but she keeps on getting in the way of the protagonist. And the more you face her, the more dramatic the confrontation gets, and the more you learned about her backstory, which is mostly left vague, but enough clues are given to you to gather where she's coming from. and how she's coming from it, that you almost genuinely feel sorry for this individual, but at the same time, she's gone so far beyond the point of redemption, the point of no return, that it is inevitable a final confrontation with this villain. I think Iconoclasts does that pretty well. Iconoclasts does well almost everything about itself. I recommend it.
Yeah. Though, mind you, though, Time Spinner, while it's a good sort of thing, I will say that, I have been playing another Metroidvania, for the past fair few months, on and off, and it's called Hollow Knight.
Oh, you're finally being introduced in the Hollow Knight course. About time. I played that 2 years ago by now.
Yes, it was free on the PS Store, actually.
That's different. I had to pay for it. Why do I have to pay for games? Why do I have to pay for games? Madhog Die Master 2021. So, what do you think of Hollow Knight so far?
Quite difficult, for one.
It is very difficult, yes. Finally, I can say this. It's very, very difficult, and I hate wall jumping and platforming. I hate it. I really, really hate it. Otherwise, it's a good game.
It is a really great, fantastic game, oozing with atmosphere, as well as, really interesting lore behind it.
I have something to say about that. It is not a game that managed to grab me at all in terms of its quote-unquote lore, because I am from the camp in which I would prefer to be given a proper story rather than a lore to learn about, because learning about lore feels more like homework, and you only do homework if you really like the subject. And while I think the atmosphere in Hollow Knight is very good, I don't particularly care for it, because there is not actually a story to get attached to. There is only a very Dark Souls-esque dead world in which all the story happened in the past, and you are sort of there navigating the hollow, see what I did there, hollow-esque of what remains of the world, which is a very interesting looking world that I am not invested in.
Okay, let's save right now, because...
How many times have you died, by the way?
A lot.
Yes, I told you this is the Great Pyramid, baby.
So yeah, definitely check out Hollow Knight, though, if you're into your Metroidvanias, especially a challenging one, if you like your bosses to...
It's very difficult, and my gosh, there are a couple of bosses that I hated with the passion of a million burning suns. Speaking of which, are you bothering at all with rescuing the little worm guys?
Yes, I'm rescuing the grubs as I go along.
Please, be sure to do that. Be sure to save all the grubs. It is absolutely worth it. Trust me.
Well, I was going to do that anyway, because I'm a completionist by nature.
You know what? In spite of everything, when I play this game, and indeed most Metroidvanias, I am compelled, I am compulsed into do as much completion as I could possibly do. As far as Hollow Knight is concerned, I explored all the map, all of it. I saved all the worms. I have pretty much done everything that I could possibly do, save from unlocking the true ending, because I'm not even going to bother with that fight. I've seen that fight. No, thank you.
Okay, let me get the cannonballs out.
So, what's your favorite boss?
Well,
And by that I mean your most hated boss.
that's quite difficult right now because
Because
I haven't really gotten through the entire game yet, so I can't really make that call yet.
Have you fought the guardian statues that animate themselves and you have to fight them all in a small space?
The one I definitely have. Well, I can tell you who I faced last, and it was basically the Magus that did the ground pound technique.
Oh, you're still very early in the game then.
Yes, pretty much. I've been playing it on and off essentially for the last couple of months.
It's a good idea because it's a very stressful game.
I'm actually going to take advantage of the fact that they keep on giving me ammo packs here.
It's the only way to be able to do this.
Especially with a cannonball.
Since we are talking or casually recommending Metroidvania games, I also would like to recommend Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Oh yeah, love Bloodstained.
It really clicked with me. It helps that it's an RPG, so I can level up my character and get really powerful and not have that much of a hard time with bosses. Take that, Hollow Knight! But yes, it's another game in which I have basically done everything I could possibly do. I've beaten all the bosses, including the super bosses. I've completed the map. Discovered all the secrets. I have no reason to replay it again. But I did it.
Yeah,
It felt good.
I really like Bloodstained just because of its art direction, the character designs, and
It's Symphony of the Night made by the actual guy who created Castlevania. And also Castlevania Symphony of the Night, by extension.
yeah.
The story is forgettable,
Yeah,
but the game itself is fun, so there's that.
I'm just gonna say screw you guys as I just pick up this ammo pack of cannonballs!
There's so many meat chunks! You're drowning in meat chunks!
Hello.
This is fun.
Hello, good sirs. May I introduce you to cannonballs?
The bisons are not even half as hard or as annoying as the clear. Well, except when you cannot see them because of all the meat chunks. Just the mountain of meat is preventing you from seeing them. So much meat! The music is going crazy, by the way, as I told you it would.
Yeah, I could hear it going absolutely crazy. Grab this ammo pack, save the game, because that took me a long time. I might as well do it this way, because these people are bastards, apparently. Oh, they're actually doing a different strategy.
No! Oh no! It's the Circle of Death! Not to be confused with the Circle of Life. Oh god!
Ah.
Oh no! This is getting real now! This is real!
It's like they knew what I was doing.
This is difficult. This is difficult. This is hard, baby.
Let's do this.
This is it. This is it, Luigi. I think they might attack you from behind.
Only one of them did because the fact that I let him get behind me. Okay, let's get these health potions. grab this. I'll save for now. Hopefully I can get more health. At least this time they, port in more. Oh, holy crud. They're actually... They're doing this.
This is not over yet.
I kind of guessed it wouldn't be over. Ah.
The music goes faster with each new round.
Oh, I see something down there. In the darkness.
What is that?
Let me see. Is there an item there?
No, just death.
There's an item down there, I think.
Oh!
Yeah, there's an item here.
Oh! Oh, totally worth it. 1 point of shield, that was totally worth it. And they trapped you here. Yep, it's a trap.
Okay.
Don't go for the item.
Yep, I'm not going for it next time, that's for sure. But it's interesting, though.
It's a classic amateur trap. It's a beginner's trick, if you will.
Yeah, it's just I saw something in the distance and thinking to myself, what is that over there?
Another Metroidvania that I
health
don't.
Box over there.
Oh, it's a trap.
It's a health box, though.
It's a trap.
Oh, come on! It's a health box. What?
It's a super trap.
What is it? What is it? A trap? It's not gonna be a trap. Come on. See,
it doesn't even heal you that much.
See, secret health found.
Oh boy. And they keep on appearing. So speaking of Metroidvanias, as I was about to say,
yeah,
I also played Minoria last year, which is a shorter game,
yeah,
but one that's worth checking out. It's about a warrior nun.
You had me at warrior nun.
I knew it. It's about a warrior nun fighting demons or evil spirits. I forget which one. The church might not be the good guys after all. You saw that coming.
Of course.
It has two endings. It's relatively challenging, but not in a way that's insurmountable, like Hollow Knight sometimes gets. It's also an RPG, so you can level up. And effectively cheese it with that. There is a parrying system to it. I'm usually terrible at parrying. I tend to prefer dodging. This is the only game, to my memory, in which I am able to do parrying and I can be good at it. So it gets my recommendation for that.
That's good.
Otherwise, I am terrible at parrying. I've always been terrible at that. I cannot play Dark Souls to save my life. And I tried. You know, I thought playing Dark Souls would be feasible for me after I played Code Vein, which is a Souls-like. It turns out I was completely wrong. Code Vein really holds your hand compared to Dark Souls.
Yeah, I actually played Demon Souls before the Dark Souls series came along.
Oh, so you played the unpolished version. Great.
Pretty much. And I thought to myself, oh, it looks interesting. It has a neat, dark, gothic art style, and everyone is saying it's challenging.
Cough.
Yes, I was not a fan.
Right, not many people were a fan of Demon Souls. Dark Souls takes what Demon Souls does incorrectly and improve upon it. Now there is this new Demon Souls remake, PlayStation 5 exclusive, and from what I've seen, it seems a lot easier than any of the Dark Souls games before it. In my personal experience, there is a fine line between a game being challenging but in a fun way, and a game being challenging but in a very exasperating way. Dark Souls just goes over the line of exasperation within minutes. What really frustrates me about Dark Souls is that it is a very easy first area in the clinic. I breezed through it, it's very easy. And then immediately after I get out of it, it's hard as testicles, as they say. There is no real progression with that difficulty. It's really easy now in the tutorial level for babies, and now boom! Here's the real game, have fun, which I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not a true hardcore gamer. I don't care, I don't like it. It's not for me.
Gamers need to learn in the grand scheme of things.
I don't even like the term gamer. Call me a player.
But yeah, like I was about to say, that I think the notion that basically that gamers have to be like super serious about the games they play.
Easy mode! Put easy mode on Dark Souls, I don't care.
Yeah, and that easy mode should be frowned upon as a difficulty for babies.
I don't even want to get into that toxic, elitist discourse for douchebags.
I don't like that either. It's why basically I don't like discussions of why Super Smash Bros. Should be considered a party game. Why Super Smash Bros. Should be considered a super hardcore gamers game, sort of thing. And it's like, can I just enjoy the game?
It doesn't really matter what you decide to consider it. It's sold more than your favorite fighting game. So I guess it is a party game. As in, people are having a party and you're not invited. Oh, snap.
Everyone's invited except you.
Maybe you need to get good at Super Smash. Have you thought about that? This never ends! This stage never ends!
Yeah, that's because I keep dying. Have you met me?
I wonder how long before the end.
Well, we'll have to see how we do it this.
What were we talking about?
Video games and people basically, be gatekeepers essentially on video games.
Gatekeeper. Anyway, please do go on.
But yeah,
gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers. Like I said, they're probably some of the worst people because they like tell you, oh, you can't enjoy this thing that you enjoy because you're not a real fan. Because essentially,
yes, Star Wars fans have turned that into a national sport, have they not?
I mean, I mean, yes.
Yes, they definitely have.
You're not a real Star Wars fan because you're...
There are only a few times in which a fandom has managed to successfully turn me off of a medium, of a show, or any and all intellectual properties, and one of those times was with Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
I usually don't care about fans of a thing that I enjoy. I tend to keep my distance. I definitely tried to do that when I was a fan of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic back in the day, because I refused
to be associated.
Categorically refused to be labeled as a brony. I really did not want to be in that position, if I can help it. So I kept my distance while also watching closely. Like a nature explorer?
Shh.
I'm studying the local fauna?
Don't look.
As you can see, the Brony fandom has gathered in this spot where food abounds. We will now try to discover their mating rituals. Okay.
I guess if you really wanted to go down this path, that Star Trek fans probably could definitely be seen as that sort of fandom.
Yes, not as bad as Star Wars fans, though. Still bad. Science fiction fans in general, let's all group them together in massive generalization.
I'd rather not.
I'd rather, yes.
But yeah, like I said, it's like my own philosophy on my own life in general is basically is that I just enjoy what I want to enjoy and openly dislike what I want to dislike despite what others think, whether it's positive or negative, what they tell me I should be feeling.
I subscribe to that philosophy. I will like what I choose to like and dislike what I choose to dislike for my own reasons and opinions, of which I go out of my way to formulate, which is something that I learned to do as a guy who analyzes media and has a degree in doing exactly that. I might be the only person in the world who does not like the DuckTales rebook.
Rebook!
Damn it! The DuckTales reboot from 2017. I don't like that show. I know that at least the two other people are on the same boat as I am, and those would be the Toon Green boys, Taylor and Nero.
Look!
You've done it!
I did!
You've done it! You survived! You know what that means, Devar?
What?
There is only the final boss left.
Should we save that for next time, or is it going to be
It
now?
will not take as long to do as this level, but I think we should wrap up this podcast. Just... Oh. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. So, next time, we fight Death.
I guess it'd be good for a preview?
It's really as big as he looks.
Yep, he definitely looks like a big boy, that's for sure.
It's not as difficult as the stage you just went through. That was the hardest part of the game. This boss is just a spectacle.
Yep, he certainly is a spectacle.
Oh, I guess we're doing it now! Let's go!
Wait, what?
You don't have time to think! Just fight! Run! This boss has two faces, baby! Na 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 na.
Oh, his health bars appeared.
Oh, I guess you have to fight him then. Dun, 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 dun. This is it! This is it, Devar. This is the end. This is the final level in Serious Sam, the first encounter. I think you should use your rocket launcher on him.
Yeah, maybe. Let me just go over here just to basically take care of some of the more problematic individuals.
Maybe don't use the rocket launcher at close quarters. Devar.
You know what? Maybe we should consider that for the next time, because since we are going on for like an hour and 22
I
minutes.
suppose that's true. This was as long as it was. We didn't really talk about much, not like the other times, but that's why we actually had a game to focus on for a change.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks for joining us, everybody. This has been the penultimate episode of the Serious Podcast. We have to decide what to play next.
Or not, depends on how we feel, I guess.
If we do not play another game, the Mad Play podcast dies. I don't want it to die.
But yeah, we'll see you next time, folks, for the ultimate final showdown of this guy.
Ultimate Destiny.
This guy. Yeah, just pointing our fingers
guy.
at him. This guy.
This guy, it's a big boy, let me tell you.
And he's looking pretty thick, yo.
Don't. Just don't. Restrain yourself. Okay? Good night, everybody. Mwah. Kisses.
Good night, and take
we
care,
love you.
buddy.
Mwah. Stay safe.
All the love to all of you out there, and take care of yourselves and each other.